Hi, everyone. I'm Holman, CEO and founder of Boost My School, and we're the only fundraising platform built just for K-12 advancement teams. I'm excited to share that we just closed a $10 million round to double down on this mission. Thank you. The Boost story actually starts when I was a donor. I'm a mathlete. That was my thing growing up. This is a photo of me on our high school championship winning math team. And after I graduated, I donated to my school, and they made me donate by check, which was shocking to me because I didn't have a checkbook. So I ended up building the first version of the platform for my high school, and then soon found out that there was really nothing for K-12. There's a lot for higher ed, a lot for nonprofits, but K-12 have smaller teams, they have different communities, it's mostly parents and grandparents, extended family alumni, and yet, similar to how I felt, they have the same expectations as higher ed donors. This quote was from a sales process, Talia at Breck School. She actually did sign on to Boost, so spoiler alert. But she said the holy grail for their team will be a K-12 platform that does giving and events. And that's exactly what Boost is. We help schools create engaging fundraising pages in minutes. They're social, they're gamified, and that what leads to people feeling more engaged and also bringing in more money. Donors can pay however they want, whether if you're Gen Z and you're paying with Apple Pay and Venmo, also Daft Pay is integrated, and also even Bitcoin if you're that type of person. And then every school gets a dedicated one-on-one success manager who lives and breathes K-12 and becomes an extension of their advancement team. Let's talk about one of our many success stories. We're going to hone in on Newark Academy. They're an independent school, grades 6 to 12, and they love that there are two core advancement platforms. One is Razor's Edge, the system of truth for all of their backend, and then you have Boost. We're the front-facing page for their giving, their events, and their auctions. Newark Academy signed on for a giving day. So for those of you who don't know that, it's a 24-hour donation-a-thon. And this is where these social components, like this class leaderboard, really fuels the competitive spirit and help them raise more. They've since moved all of their giving onto Boost and increased their donor engagement by 25%. From an event perspective, 2 years in, they're like, well, if this works for giving, why can't we just make it work for events? They moved their reunion, their golf outing, even ran their first auction just because it came through Boost's platform. In addition to these social features, this comment wall, schools love it. So what happens is as you donate or as you register, you can share a little bit of why you donate. And you'll get stories like this one, where this couple, they met in Newark, they got married, and they support the school. And it's those stories why we all love schools. Proud that from my high school being our first school, we now work over 200 schools. Two-thirds, props to Blackbaud, two-thirds of which use Razor's Edge. I love this quote from Paul from Pingree School. He actually just retired, but his quote was, "I've worked in schools for 25 years, never met a software as clear or intuitive as Boost." And that's shown in our overall metrics. Last year, we closed with 90% annual school retention and an 85 net promoter score. Our team blends startup, school, and tech experience. The first startup I was at was acquired by Google. Johnny, our head of sales, came from SchoolPass. And Nathaniel, our head of product, is from Apple and Stanford. Again, we just closed this $10 million round. We're pretty excited. We're on a path to grow from 200 to 1,000 schools in just a few years. And just continue to push forward our mission, which is helping schools ensure that all students are set up for success. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So even the folks in your organization reflect the crowded space that EdTech is. So when you think about that and what you build, what's your differentiator? What makes you think, we own the space or want to own the space? And how do you differentiate yourselves?
Yeah, and I would say this is where we're lucky in that we sell to the advancement team. And a lot of so you're talking about like the EdTech space being crowded, which is true. Not many platforms are built just for advancement, especially since admissions is where the majority of the revenue is. So we actually, that's what our teams tell us. There's things for higher ed, things for nonprofits. By focusing on one persona, we're going to be able to focus and build something for them.
Very good, very good. And how do your customers reflect that? What do your product roadmaps reflect in terms of customer feedback that kind of emphasize that?
Yeah. So I would say the way we think about the product is what platforms are K-12 schools using? And if you compare them to higher ed, there's like 10 or so platforms, like alumni, even like mentor spaces or like alumni software, giving auction events. So our K-12 team just want to use one piece. So the more that we can have go through Boost and the donors get used to that too, like that's our strategy.
I guess just to narrow in on that, because that was actually feeds into my question, which is what is your long-term vision for transforming school fundraising? So do you see opportunities beyond K-12?
I would say what's cool is that there's still a lot to build for K-12. One thing we hear, we're actually launching a marketing product soon, is that there's just more of a need for personalization throughout the process. Donors don't want to feel like they're just donating, like people are asking them, they're donating, but the why matters. So can we, let's say like everyone knows that now I love math. So like can an email from my school to me mention that I love math team and that show on the donation page, and then that's what I get thanked for. So that's the opportunity that we still see within K-12.
And then a follow-up, what are you thinking in terms of integrations beyond Razor's Edge NXT? So, Alma Base has tight integration with BBIP. Are you considering that? Like, what's some of your next steps?
Yeah, so we're actually, we're meeting with your team tomorrow just to talk about BBMS integration. And I would say that would be the Razor's Edge is definitely the top one that people talk about a lot. And then BBMS will be potentially a second one.
Congratulations on the round of funding. Wow, that's loud. Do you have, as you think about your roadmap, are there major milestones or major features, and how are you using that funding to fund that roadmap?
Yeah, I would say right now the biggest thing outside of the product side is just like adapting to schools. Like schools, they fundraise also differently. So that's auctions was something we launched last year, given some of these schools are like half their fundraising come through auctions. So again, the short-term goal for us is how do we go from 200 to 1,000 schools in a few years? And that's what decides our roadmap.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, everyone.